yogis, Katy here at Body and Shine Wellness. If you checked out our other February videos that we have this month, you know that we are doing balance and heart opening. And in today's full-length class, we're gonna work up to dancer's pose. So I would say grab a block, a blanket, and a strap if you have them, and we'll get started. Right, so hopefully you have your props, and today's beginning at least, and actually some of the parts during as well, will possibly be a little sensitive on the knees. So if you have knee replacement, or maybe you've had knee surgery or just knee injuries in the past, definitely take it slow on the knees, and if I start to do something and your knee is telling you not to do that thing, just pause for a moment. I'll offer something else for you to do, but don't do anything that's gonna hurt your joints. I don't want anybody to get hurt today. So that being said, we'll go ahead and get started in a comfortable seat. If you want to sit on your block or your blanket, you certainly can. Otherwise, right on your hips is fine. Let your hands find a resting place and close your eyes. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Sit up tall through the crown of your head. And start to focus on your breath. Allow the muscles in your feet, your hands, your face to soften. Every breath in, trace it from the crown of your head all the way down to your hips. Every breath out, empty out from the ground all the way back up. Each inhale, let it be a reminder to be present right here, right now. Every breath out, letting go of any distractions, plans, or expectations. And as you move on your mat today, remind yourself that the physical practice is just one part of yoga. There's a bigger opportunity to draw your attention inwards, to focus on your breath, your mind, your spirit. With that in mind, take another big full deep breath in. And exhale, let it go. You can choose to leave your eyes closed or start to flutter them open. Either way, we'll start by tucking your chin down towards your chest. Rock your right ear over to your right shoulder and go in a big, slow circle to start. You can choose to pause, breathe, maybe rock back and forth in especially tight areas. As you move, if you want to keep circling to the right, you can. Or you can pause right ear to right shoulder and just hold and breathe. If you want to add a little extra stretch, take right hand to the side of your head. Just apply gentle pressure, nothing forceful. Also the options, you can always mix and match of tilting your chin down towards your shoulder to bring the stretch more into the back of the neck. Or extend your left arm out to the side, taking the stretch more into the top of your shoulder. We'll take 2 more deep breaths. And after your next exhale, bringing your chin back to center, hands back to your lap. Let your chin be neutral for a second. Just notice the difference between the right and left sides of your neck. And then we'll do the same thing the other way. So slow, big circle to start. Left ear to left shoulder, going all the way around. You might notice different areas feeling tight going this way. And whether you kept circling on the other side, either repeat that or pause again. Left ear to left shoulder this time. Option to add on any of those variations. It might not look exactly the same as the other side. Just be where you're at. One more big breath in. And And exhale, bringing your hands back to center, chin back to your chest, leaving your chin tilted down. Roll your shoulders up by your ears, and then squeeze your shoulder blades down and back, sending your heart a little forward. And keep going with at least a few of those big shoulder rolls. It'll be important to open up your chest and upper back as we move into dancers later on. Once you feel a little bit more space there, hands on your knees for some seated cat-cow. So just like you would in cat on all fours, you're gonna curl around, arch your back, tuck your chin into your chest. And then just like you would for cow, send your belly, your heart forward, look a little up to stretch your throat, but not at the expense of the back of your neck. And keep going, at least a few cats, at least a few cows. If you ever want to spend extra time on warming up, just pause the video, come back when you're ready. After you've done a few rotations back and forth with your spine, mix up the movements with whatever feels good to you today. So that might be circling your rib cage, it could be a gentle seated twist, maybe reaching your arms overhead, stretching side to side. Anything that feels good to you. It could just be a made up movement, forward fold, stretch out your wrists. Take 3 or 4 more breaths. Let yourself even out. You can just sit and breathe too. And again, if you need longer, feel free to take it. Otherwise, we're going to start to make our way to tabletop. So coming onto hands and knees. You might, if you have sensitive knees, want to grab that blanket, slide it underneath your knees, or if you have a non-cork mat, you can just fold the mat over once we get on one knee, because we're headed to one knee. We're going to do some balancing, okay? So you're going to come onto hands and knees. Start by taking your right arm out in front of you, like you're going to shake somebody's hand, and then your left leg out behind you. I find it easier to balance with my toes kind of curled under as opposed to the top of the foot on the floor, but you do what works best for you and what feels best on your knee. Okay, so always listen to that knee. Then you can stay here, work on balance if this is already enough, or maybe start to kick your heel towards your butt and just see how that feels. If you want a little more, you can reach back behind you, see if you can grab your toes. From here, very gentle, because we're still not quite totally warm yet, just opening up a little space in the heart. When you're ready to come down, release the foot, land the knee as carefully as you can. We're going to try the other side. So taking the left leg out this time, right leg out, left arm, then finding your balance first. From here, maybe kicking the heel in, maybe reaching the hand back. If we can grab, great. If not, no worries. And then just kicking a little into the hand to help lift your chest. Then gently relaxing, knee back to the ground. Cool. And then coming out for a second, roll out your wrists if you need to, especially if that was a lot. So from here, with dancers, if you know what dancers looks like, we do have to have some opening in our quads. So I want us to get a little bit more open in the quads, especially if kicking the heel in towards the butt was a little bit tight. We're going to start by coming to a seat and extend your left leg long in front of you. From here, bring the right leg into a half hero. So you're going to kick your right heel to the outside of your hip. So we're not sitting directly on top of our foot. I'll turn this way so you can maybe see a little better. My heel is to the side of my hip. So I'm getting this nice stretch right here. If this puts too much pressure on your knee, you're going to take your block or your blanket underneath your booty so that way, when you bend the knee back, it doesn't have so much weight on it. It takes a little pressure out of that. If that's still not working for you today, skip it, all right? Whatever we end up doing, you can do it from sole of the foot to the inner thigh, and maybe just doing a forward fold, okay? But don't put too much pressure on that knee. If we're sitting on a block, we're not gonna go back very far. So you might just walk your hands gently behind you, starting to feel a little bit more stretch through the front of the thigh. If the knee starts to lift way up, we've gone too far. You wanna keep your shin pretty stable on the ground. If we're not sitting on a block, so if we are sitting on a block, I don't recommend going more than forearms. If we are not sitting on a block, we might be able to go a little bit lower. And ideally, you don't want to have your low back too far off the ground. I'm not very warm. It's still pretty early in the morning for me doing this. It's not that early, but it's early for me. So my low back is not really very relaxed right now, but ideally you want to have your spine relaxing towards the floor as that quad opens. When we're ready to come up, you can roll a little bit to the side of the knee that you're not on, and then just help yourself up. Maybe extend that leg out in front of you and give it a little shake. I just taught this the other day and somebody was like punching their leg. So if you want to punch your leg too, I guess go for it. Hopefully it's not that intense. Maybe we overdid it if it was. But if you want to punch your leg, go for it. All right, let's do the other side. So again, if we're using a block, great. Totally fine. Make sure we're not sitting directly on top. So you should be able to look down and kind of see the outside of your heel. When you're ready to come down, slowly coming down. If we are using a block or a blanket, this would be as far as I recommend you go, okay? Because we don't want that knee to get compromised. If you want to go down a little lower, you can. To be honest, this is my tighter side. So this is about as far as I feel like going. You can relax your head if that feels better, or keep your chin tilted to your chest. We're just going to take a few more breaths. Kind of lean a little bit onto your side of the extended leg. Go for it. Untuck that leg from half hero. Give it a little shake or stomp it out a little bit. Now we're going to make our way to down dog. Yay, enough of that, all right? So coming onto your hands about shoulder width distance apart. Start to send your hips up and back. And pedal out your feet a little. So bend one knee, press the opposite heel to the ground, and hold for a few breaths. So a lot of times there's this tendency to just kind of like very quickly stomp it out. Hold today, at least try it out, and let the hamstring have 2 or 3 breaths to open before you switch to the other side. And then take 2 or 3 more breaths. And just really letting the legs have an opportunity to warm up, especially as you move into balancing poses today like dancers. And coming back to a still down dog, take a big breath in. And a full breath out. Your next inhale, look forward. As you exhale, small steps up to the top of your mat for ragdoll. So feet at least hip width distance apart, if not wider. Some bend, if not a lot, in the knees. Head and neck really relaxed. You can let your arms dangle. Grab opposite elbows. Interlace your hands behind your head. Maybe find a little gentle movement, however it feels good for you. And relax your hands. Start to shimmy your feet to a comfortable standing width. And on your next inhale, roll your way up. No rush to get there. Once you're in standing, bring your hands to heart center and close your eyes. And take this opportunity to set your own intention for practice. Something that's going to keep you focused, keep you grounded when your attention starts to wander, allowing you to be here in your body here in this moment. Whatever your intention is today, take a big full deep breath in, seal it in your heart. And exhale, let it go. And take another breath in. And exhale, let it out. From here, start to flutter your eyes open. Inhale, mountain pose. Take a second, move your mountain. I always kind of like to pop my ankles a little bit, or you can wiggle your toes, whatever you need to do to get settled into your space. Then roll your shoulders away from your ears, pull your belly in and up, and take note of where the weight is in your feet. So if you have a tendency to kind of lean back in your heels, or maybe grip into your toes, roll to the outside or the inside, all those things are going to affect your balance once we get on one leg. So starting to feel your weight stamp a little more evenly. Take a big breath in like that. And from here, exhale, open twist. Take your right arm ahead of you, left arm behind. Other way. Anyway, it doesn't matter. One arm in front of you, one arm behind. We're going to do the other side in a second anyway. Opening up through your chest. You can peek to the arm that's behind you. Good. Inhale, coming back to center. It's hard for me to mirror when I'm not quite there. All right, big breath in. And exhale, opening up to the other side. And feel the stretch coming more from your chest, your upper back, your collarbones than it is your hips or your pelvis. So trying to keep your heart as the focus today. Inhale, coming back to your mountain, breathe in. And exhale, forward fold. Hinge from your hips, lead with your heart. Head and neck hang heavy and relaxed at the bottom. From here, inhale, find a halfway lift, long, strong spine, and notice the tilt of your neck. So there's a tendency, especially if you're watching this on a computer, you want to kind of kink your head forward so that you can look ahead of you. Instead of doing that today, picture your spine all the way through the crown of your head so that your back of your neck is nice and long and there's no pain there. One more breath in. And exhale, high plank. Plant your hands, step back, top of a push-up pose. Always the option to do plank on our knees or come to a tabletop position if we have shoulder issues, okay? So no big deal if you need a little extra support today. Wherever you are, feel your upper body activate, your core engage. One more breath in. Exhale, shift forward, slow control lower. You can come to your knees for this, all the way down to your belly. If you haven't done this with me before, there's a video on it if you need some more assistance. But your arm is going to come out to a T, right at shoulder height. You can flip your palm up or down, whichever feels more comfortable for you today. Then, starting to gently roll to the side of that arm that's extended, and try not to let the arm drop down towards your hip. So you want to keep the arm as much as you can in line with your shoulder. Let your head and neck relax. You can always take your block or your blanket, use it as a pillow if you need to. The leg that's kind of flipping over, if your hip flexors are tight, don't force it. You can just let your leg rest on top or maybe even in front. We'll take one more breath in. And exhale, coming back to your belly. So this looks a lot like that mountain pose open twist we did. That's kind of the idea, that twist we just did in standing. Other arm comes out to a T. You're gonna slowly roll onto that side. This hand that's in front of your chest, you can use it for more support, especially if you're feeling like this is a very intense stretch or your neck hurts a little bit. Use it to help support your body weight. If it's okay to come up, you can roll it behind you a little bit, kind of interlace it behind your hip or your low back. One more breath in. And exhale, unwinding, coming back to your belly. Both hands in by your chest, toes to the floor. Inhale, either pressing straight up to high plank or come through all fours first. Exhale, downward facing dog. Send your hips up and back. Take a full breath in. And a full breath out. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step or hop to the top of your mat, landing softly if we're hopping. Inhale, lift halfway, again, long through the back of the neck. Exhale, forward fold, bend your knees if you need to. Inhale, coming up to mountain pose, use your breath to help you rise. Changing it up this time, now that our shoulders are a little more open. Exhale, interlace the hands together behind your back. Inhale, roll your shoulders open and down like that seated shoulder roll we did. So finding more space in your chest, not so much our mid to low back, so not trying to send the hips forward or anything like that, just opening up through the heart. One more breath in. And exhale, starting to fold forward. Option this time to keep the hands interlaced. You can let the hands rest on the sacrum, or if it's okay for more stretch, starting to let the knuckles go up towards the ceiling. Keep bringing your forehead closer to your shins. Inhale, find a halfway lift. If the hands are still interlaced, you can just let them rest on the top of your hips, or unlace them, bring them down. Exhale, chaturanga. Hands come to the ground, step your feet back, lower down halfway step. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, down dog. And if you're not quite ready for chaturanga today, remember high plank to down dog, or go check out some of those chaturanga modification videos. Last time through, inhale, look ahead. Exhale, step or pounce to the top of your mat. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, mountain pose, all the way up to stand. Exhale, interlace your hands behind you. Inhale, open up your heart. Exhale, forward fold. Let go of the hands if it's too much in the shoulders. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, chaturanga. If we're not doing chaturanga, this is what it looks like. High plank, could also be plank on your knees. And then just straight to down dog, getting a little more core and shoulder work in, a little less up dog. Full breath in. Full breath out. From here, you're gonna inhale, lift your right leg up high, and feel like your toes are pointing down towards the ground. You might even be able to peek up at your foot behind you so that you realize there's a tendency to kind of roll the hip open, so we're trying to roll the hip down for now. Then bring your left heel a little closer to the floor. Lift higher through your right leg. Now, bend your knee like you're kicking yourself in the butt, dog at a fire hydrant. Stretch through your hip flexor, stretch through your quad. Try to keep the weight a little more even in your hands. Use the strength of your belly, your hips, to bring that leg back to a level down dog. And then exhale, step it up to a low lunge. And take as many steps as you need to get to that low lunge. Don't rush yourself. From here, left hand stays down on the ground, or we can take our block. Low lunge, open twist. Lift your right arm up. Stretch through your chest and shoulders. Maybe peek towards your extended hand. So this is a lot like the stretch we did on our belly or the stretch we did in mountain at the beginning. One more breath in. And exhale to your low lunge. Go ahead and move that block if you're using it. Inhale your way up to crescent lunge. Shoulders over hips, arms overhead, pause and breathe here. Use the left foot to help control what your hips are doing. So if the hips are kind of drooping or the left hip is hanging back, use the ball of the back foot to square the hips and level your pelvis. Take a breath in. And exhale, open twist. Reaching the right arm back, left arm forward, maybe peeking over the shoulder. Watch if the hips want to twist for you. It's going to make it hard to balance and it puts pressure on your low back. So keeping the left hip pointing forward and not twisting towards the right side. Inhale back to your crescent lunge. And exhale, warrior two. Pivot the left heel down, shimmy your feet maybe a little bit wider apart. Sink into your right leg, press into the ball of your right foot. Arms parallel to the floor. From here, inhale, reverse warrior. Reach up and back, extend. Continue sinking into your lunge. Reach up and back, lengthening through your spine. One more breath in. Exhale, extended side angle. Taking your right forearm maybe down to your thigh or your block. Left arm rotating over our bicep today. So stretching through the side of your body a little bit more, getting long and strong. From here, inhaling back to your reverse warrior. Reach up and back, even sinking a little lower because you can. Yes, you can. Exhale, chaturanga. Hands come down to the ground. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. This time, inhale, left leg lifts. And again, starting with level hips. Sink your right heel a little closer to the floor, stretch out your hamstring. One more breath in, lift the heel higher, the left heel, and then exhale, kick dog at a fire hydrant. So you might notice you want to dump into the right side. Try to square your chest a little more towards the mat and project up through your left knee. From here, leveling back, level hips, and exhale, low lunge, step it through. This time, right hand stays down on the floor or on your block, left arm lifts up. Stretching through your heart. You might feel a little dip in this hip, that's okay, but stay rooted through the ball of your right foot. Let the twist come more from your chest. One more breath in, and exhale back to your low lunge. From here, inhale, crescent lunge, hug your inner thighs to center, use your low belly to rise. Hug those lowest ribs into your chest, in towards your abdomen. Good, one more big breath in. And exhale, open twist once again. So same direction you just twisted, your spine should be ready for it. Maybe peeking over the left shoulder. That does challenge your balance too. So if balance is off, maybe skip looking behind you. Inhale, slowly coming back to your crescent lunge. And then exhale, warrior two. So this time right heel goes down, separating the feet a little bit wider. Sink into your lunge and stabilize your arms. Open up through your chest. There's a tendency to kind of let this back shoulder roll forward. Open up your collarbones. Keep that space. Inhale, reverse warrior. Reach up and back, extend. Sink a little lower into your lunge. One more breath in. And exhale, extended side angle. So left forearm this time can rest on the thigh, or you can always take your block at whatever setting you want. Use your hand on your block. Some of us might have our hand on the floor, that's also fine, but just those who need it. Opening up some more space, maybe even peeking up under your arm. Then using the strength of your core, inhale back to reverse warrior. And exhale, chaturanga. Hands go down, move the block if you need to. Inhale, up dog, or we hold our high plank and we go straight to down dog. Big breath in, full breath out. So starting to move a little bit faster this time. Always feel free to slow it down if you need to. Inhale, lift your right leg high. Exhale, dog at a fire hydrant. Remember, try to keep those shoulders stable. Inhale, back to your three-legged dog. Exhale, low lunge. Step your right foot through. As many steps as you need. Inhale, low lunge, open twist. Lift your right arm up. Exhale, back to your low lunge. Inhale, crescent lunge. Come all the way up. Exhale, open twist to the same side you just did. Inhale, back to crescent lunge. Exhale, warrior two. Adjust your feet. Inhale, reverse warrior. Sink deeper into your right leg. Exhale, extended side angle. Think of yourself tick-tocking like a clock with your torso. Inhale, back to reverse warrior. And exhale, chaturanga, hands to the mat. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left leg high. Exhale, kick yourself in the butt. Inhale, back to a straight leg. Exhale, low lunge. Right hand stays down. Inhale, left arm lifts. Exhale, back to your lunge. Inhale, crescent lunge, come all the way up. Exhale, open twist, keep the right hip forward. Inhale, back to crescent lunge. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior, like you're gonna tickle the wall behind you. Exhale, extended side angle, however you choose to express it. Inhale, back to reverse warrior. And exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. This last time through, we're going to add some challenge. Inhale, lift your right leg high. Exhale, dog at a fire hydrant. Stretch your hip. Inhale, straight leg. Exhale, low lunge. This time, left hand stays down, right arm lifts. Find a focal point, hug your inner thighs, hug your belly, come all the way up to your crescent lunge open twist. Take a couple more tries if you need to. Keep the hips forward. Then, inhale, exalted warrior. Right hand to the back thigh, left arm reaches up and back. Feel like you're lifting from your sternum, from your chest. Maybe looking a little bit up. One more breath in. Big transition, exhale, warrior two. Pivot your heel down and get yourself undizzy if you need to. Inhale, reverse warrior. Reach up and back, extend. Exhale, extended side angle, stretching through the side of your body. From here, inhale, back to reverse warrior. And this time, exhale, runner's lunge. Hands come down inside your right foot. Right foot shimmies over to the right side of your mat. You may want to take your blanket under your left knee or fold your mat over to come down to your knee. If this doesn't work on your knee, stay lifted high. Then from here, if it's okay, we're going to kick our left heel in towards our butt and reach back either with your right or left hand. I don't really care which too much today, to be honest. So whichever one works for you, opening up a little more space in your chest. If you can't quite grab your foot, no big deal. You can practice just kicking, bringing it in closer. That'll be a stretch. Or if you're really determined, you can pause the video, grab your strap, loop it around the top of your foot, and use your strap to help you stretch, okay? So any of those options, just taking a couple more breaths. And slowly starting to walk back up, lift your knee, shimmy your foot back a little more to center, either stepping straight back to your down dog or a chaturanga on the way. Full breath in once you get back to down dog, and full breath out. Inhale, lift your left leg high. Exhale, open up your hip. Inhale, back to your level dog. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, left arm lifts. Hold here, find your focus, steady your balance, come all the way up to your crescent lunge open twist. Inhale, exalted warrior, reach up and back, extend. Lift more space into your heart. Feel a stretch all the way through your quad, through your hip flexor, up to your heart, through to your right fingertips. One more inhale. Exhale, warrior two, pivot open. From here, inhale, reverse warrior, reach up and back. Exhale, extended side angle, get long and strong, sink into the hips. Inhale, back to your reverse warrior. And exhale, runner's lunge. Hands come down inside your left foot this time. Again, option to come down to the right knee. Use your block, use your blanket, whatever you need to use. So we can also use the block here under the hands if the shoulders are tight or the hips are super tight. Maybe kicking back, reaching with your hand, getting a little stretch through the chest, too, if you're able to capture the foot. Make sure your left leg, the knees and toes, are pointing the same direction at all times. When you're ready to release, make sure it's not like a slingshot, very gentle coming down. Come back to your lunge, and then step your way back either through one more chaturanga or straight to down dog. Big breath in, full breath out. Another inhale here. And exhale. Whew. Come on down, have a seat. All right, yogis, so we're gonna do a little bit of core today to help get us warm for some of those balancing poses we've got coming up. So I'd like you to start by coming down onto your back. We're gonna start with just some good old-fashioned crunches. So feet on the floor, knees up to the sky, hands behind your head or neck. Take a big breath in. Exhale, lift your chest and shoulders up off the ground. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift, keeping your low back grounded. And try to keep your chin up out of your chest. Go at whatever pace works for you. So you can make these fast or slow. We're here for 5, 4. When I get to 1, we're gonna hold at the top. 3, 2, and 1. So hold your shoulders off the mat, pull your belly into your spine. Keep breathing for 4, 3, lift a little higher for the last 2, and 1, rest. You can do long body stretch, knees to your chest, whatever else you want to do to stretch it out. And then from here, coming into some bicycle crunches, knees over hips, shins parallel to the ground. Same thing with your arms, big breath in. Exhale, right shoulder towards the left knee. Inhale, lower. Exhale, switch. So if you want, you can extend the leg that you're not twisting towards. If that puts pressure on your low back or your hips, just keep going, shins parallel to the ground. For 5, we're gonna hold to one side at 1. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold to that side for 4, 3, 2, switch, hold, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax. Again, long body stretch, knees to chest, or whatever you want to do. If you want to do more core work, I've got plenty more core videos. Just pause the video, go find a different one, do some more core. But I think that's enough for right now. So in our next little bit of standing sequence, we're gonna play with dancer's pose. So a few things to keep in mind before we get there. First of all, those of you who haven't watched the dancer's tutorial yet, this is what dancers looks like. We're gonna start in a standing position. You're gonna bring your knee up, and then you're gonna start to kick your leg back behind you. You wanna reach back with your arm, grabbing for the inside arch, the big toe side of your foot. So your chest is rolling open. So notice I have this space here in the front of my heart. When I grab the pinky toe side, notice what happens with my shoulder. It rolls down. Okay, so it may not seem like a huge thing, but you're getting a lot more extension through your chest when you have the shoulder open like this. So this might be as far as we get today, is just grabbing onto the foot. If you want to go a little further, if you can grab your foot, we might start to kick into the hand. Extend through the heart like you did in that tabletop position, and reach your other arm forward. Now, if we can't quite grab on to our foot today, we're going to use our handy strap, okay? So before you start to get too far into the pose, you're going to loop the strap around the top of your foot. You're going to have your arm open, so like you're holding a drink tray out to the side. I got to focus on one thing. Drink tray out to the side. So not like you're rolling your arm in, you're rolling your arm out. And same thing, making the strap short enough so it's helpful, kicking back behind you, still lifting, opening, getting to wherever we can. When we're ready to come down, mindful that you have yourself attached to a strap, okay, so that you don't trip and fall. Remove that strap if you need to. Those of us who want to try something a little bit more intensive through the chest and shoulders, maybe you can do this without a strap. I can't, but if you want to try it today, same thing with the strap, same thing with opening the chest, but you're going to flip your elbow up, and you're going to have the strap in both hands as you begin to kick forward. And then maybe start to shorten your strap. Opening up through the chest, keeping the elbows in close. When you're ready to come down, more graceful than that. Unwinding, coming out of it, removing your strap. Okay, so we're gonna have that as an option. We're also gonna play with the option of half moon. All right, so half moon might be as far as we go today. From your extended side angle, stepping your way up. Hips are opening up like we do in that down dog position, opening the hips. You can stay in your half moon like this, or kick your heel back towards your butt, reach back with your hand. Once you find a hold of the foot, just like you did in dancers, opening up more space through the chest or in that tabletop position. When you're ready to come down, softening, gently land, okay? So try to avoid like rubber band springing, landing back down. Be kind to your joints, try to come down with control, okay? And all of those are just layers. None of those are obligations, all right? So we're just gonna give it a shot. See me back in downward facing dog. And if you need more help on dancers, there's a whole other video, okay? So go check it out. We'll come back to down dog. Big breath in. Full breath out. Inhale, lift your right leg high. Exhale, low lunge. Take it through to the top of your space. This time, we're gonna step our left leg up, either straight to one-legged mountain pose, or we stop first, little pit stop, and then bring the left knee in line with the hip. From here, we're headed to dancers. So you might just work on your balance here in one-legged mountain, or you're gonna kick your left heel behind you, start to reach your left arm back. Again, grabbing for the big toe side of your foot. If we can't quite grab, we're gonna grab onto that strap, take your time, pause the video if you need to. This might be where we stay. Or kick into your hand, find a focal point, lift your heart. So try to take your chest forward, following your leg. Let your leg guide the way, and then lead from your heart after that. Taking a few breaths to play. If we're still working on getting there, take a little more time. When you're ready, slowly coming back through center. Maybe we can go straight to one-legged mountain. Maybe we need a break. And then exhale, crescent lunge, airplane arms this time. So stepping your left leg back, heart leans forward, roll your shoulders down and back. From here, inhale, crescent lunge, arms come up overhead. And exhale, warrior two. Pivot your heel down. Inhale, reverse warrior. Reach up and back, extend. Exhale, extended side angle. From here, you might want to look for that block. Grab it, put it in front of your foot if you need to, or if you're not using a block today, don't worry about it. Start to step, however many steps you need to keep your hip open. So it's better to keep your hips pointing to the side rather than dropping the hips down and having to fight your way of gravity once you get back up there. So lifting up, toes pointing towards the side, not towards the floor. Find your balance first. And this might be where you stay. If you want a little more, bring the left heel towards your glutes. Reach back with your left hand, capture your foot. If this is okay, bring the stretch more into the space between your shoulder blades. So we're not coming from our lower mid-back. We're coming from our heart. When you're ready to come down, gently release the foot. Bend your right leg. Land your left leg slowly. We're going to come up to star. You might just shake out your legs for a second. From here, big breath in. And exhale, wide-legged forward fold. And I'm going to turn around because I always feel awkward doing wide-legged forward fold, facing away from the camera. So wide-legged forward fold. And just take a couple breaths here. If you're feeling tight in your legs, maybe you bend knee to knee. If it's your shoulders that are feeling like they need a little break, maybe just a quick little gentle twist. Or just letting your head and neck hang heavy, whatever you want. 2 more deep breaths in and out. And coming back to a halfway lift, pivot your way forward, step back to your high plank, and either chaturanga or down dog. Big breath in, full breath out. Inhale, lift your left leg high. Exhale, low lunge, take it through. So again, right leg, we might step all the way up to our one-legged mountain, or we might take a little pause in a regular mountain pose and then come up to standing. Stay here as long as you need to find your center of gravity. Then begin to kick your right heel towards your butt, reach back with your right hand. If we're using a strap, we open our arm up to the side, not back behind us. So opening it up, then finding that connection, hand to foot or hand to strap, starting to bring your heart forward as your leg goes back. Just like in that other back bend, think of this space between your shoulder blades as being where you stretch from. So not into my mid-spine. When you're ready to come out, back up to your one-legged mountain, or maybe we just take a break, shake it out for a second, whatever you need to do, all right? I need to shake it out there. And then stepping to your crescent lunge, airplane arms, eventually. Left leg forward, right leg back. From here, inhale to your crescent lunge, and exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, reverse warrior, catch up with your breath. Exhale, extended side angle. From here, finding your focal point, or maybe you're using a block, okay? Coming up to your half moon. So what I was talking about on the other side, if you're already into it, go for it. Keeping your hips open as opposed to dropping the hips, stepping forward, and then having to fight gravity to open back up. It's going to be much harder. You're almost always going to tip a little too far back. So trying to keep the hips open to come up. Once you're up, kicking your heel towards your booty, reach back with your right hand, stretch into your thoracic spine, stretch through your quads, stretch through your hip flexor. When you're ready to come down, gently returning back to the earth. Inhale, star. Shake out your legs. This time we're going to do horse. Bend your knees, hands to your heart. You can also take your hands to your thighs. Do a little stretch here, or a little twist for a second. Letting your legs have a moment to recover from all that balance. Also, if you grip into your toes a lot during balance poses, I'd take this opportunity to kind of stretch the bottoms of your feet, okay? It's a common thing in balance. We hold our toes real tight. And slowly, eventually pivoting forward, back to your low lunge, step to your high plank, either one last chaturanga or straight to down dog. Either way, big breath in and full breath out. And come back down to a seat. Yay, hopefully we're feeling pretty good, all right? So we did a lot of chest this way, opening, which is a good thing because a lot of us spend most of our day hunched and rounded over our desk or our computer or our steering wheel, so opening up this way. If you feel like, ooh, my upper back and outer shoulders could use a little bit of stretch, for our wide-legged forward fold, or our butterfly forward fold today, we're gonna put our feet on a block if you wanna try it. So for Baddha Konasana, if you feel like this is too much, feet on the floor like normal, okay? Just ignore the block. But with the block underneath your feet, as you fold forward, you can tuck your arms in front of your shins so that I get this stretch along my upper back and my outer shoulder. So it feels really nice after a lot of heart opening. And I always see people who go through like this, okay? So it's not that that's wrong or that's gonna hurt you, but it just doesn't give you, if you look at the tops of my shoulders, it doesn't give you the same nice stretch and opening that we're going for. So try to go in front of your shins if you can. If you can't, just forget about this whole thing. Do a really lovely bound angle forward fold and it'll feel really nice, okay? So if this is stressing you out, just forget I said anything and do it the plain old-fashioned way, all right? So it should feel good. You might even be able to like grab onto your elbows of the opposite arm. And slowly start to make your way back up to a seat. And also sometimes with a block, people experience knee pain. So if you have any kind of joint pain, obviously don't do that. You can keep your block for the long-legged forward fold, Paschimottanasana. If you want a little more supported version today, you can put the block underneath your knees on its lowest setting. Or again, forget about the block. If it's not feeling good, just take it to the side. But whichever one you do, let your low back stretch, your head and neck relax. Just letting your spine unwind after all of that heart opening we did today. And your next breath in. Gently making your way back up to a seat. If you have your block underneath you, go ahead and set it to the side. Those who want one last little bit of core, legs out long, arms out long, slowly lower your way down. Mindful you're not going to hit your head on something behind you until you make it down to your back. Once you're on your back, bring your knees in for happy baby. You can grab outside edges of your feet, maybe rock a little side to side. If you'd like, you can straighten one or both legs. Anything else here that feels good to you. And hug your knees into your chest, give them a nice squeeze. Keep your right leg hugged in, send your left leg all the way out long to your mat. Inhale, pull your right knee in and up towards your armpit. And exhale, supine twist. Take it across your body, letting yourself melt. Right shoulder stays resting on the floor. You can look over to your right side if you like. Picture yourself like you're wringing out a washcloth. Letting go of any energy, tension, tightness that you might not want to take into the rest of your day. Inhale, slowly coming back to center. Both knees back to your chest. Gentle rock and roll side to side if you want it. When you're ready, send your right leg long. Inhale, pull your left knee in and up towards your armpit. Exhale, supine twist. Take it across your body. Notice where your mind wants to take you. Your body slows down. You start going into planning or to-do mode. Avoid that temptation. Bring yourself back to right here, right now. Just for these last few minutes. And slowly start to come back to center. Give yourself one final great big hug of gratitude. Thank yourself for your practice. Big breath in. And exhale, Shavasana. Tuck your shoulders down your back, untuck your tail if you need to. Let your eyes close and relax. Imagine your brain being softer, heavier. Making its way to the back of your skull. Whatever thoughts come through it, also just resting on your mat. You can choose to come back to them later if you want. But for now, just being here. Slowly start to deepen your breath. When you're ready to invite some gentle movement back to your body, begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. Rock your chin from shoulder to shoulder. And gradually find bigger movements in larger joints. Seal your practice with whatever you need, whether that's a long body stretch, knees to your chest, or something else. At your own pace, rock on to your favorite side. Take this opportunity to thank yourself for your practice, to acknowledge your strength and power both inside and out. And eventually, make your way up to a comfortable seat. Eyes closed, hands at heart center. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day for yourself, for sharing your practice with me, wherever you are. The highest and brightest in me honors and bows to the highest and brightest in you. So bring our hands to third eye center and bow forward. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me today, and I hope you can check out the other short February videos, especially if you haven't checked them out yet. It will help improve your balance, your heart opening, so that things like dancers can start to become a little more approachable. And if you have any requests for the next round of videos, please let me know. Thank you guys, and enjoy the rest of your day. Namaste.